interior game has to be able to get established early. And I think they got to move the ball. You got to get Georgia Tech in rotation defensively, and I think Wake Forest plays its best when it's playing off assisted baskets off the pass.
And the Deacs have to get Hunter Sallis going on offense, right?
He had 18 points total the last 2 games combined. He averages 18. I expect them to get him some early offense.
And here he is with the basketball, number 23 in white, among the league leaders in scoring at 18.1 points per game. That checks in at 5th in the ACC. Here's Efton Reed, the Gonzaga transfer, working his way into the paint. 5 on the shot clock, puts it up. Good defense inside by Tech.
Ndongo doing a good job of walling up, and Efton Reed's got to finish that play. He's got the size advantage inside.
Freshman to freshman, Nathan George found Baye Ndongo inside, but he lost the handle. 15 on the shot clock.
Nathan George, one of those good-looking freshman point guards. And this is a Georgia Tech team that will play side to side. They're very ball screen heavy in their offense.
2 to shoot. George has to put it up. Long rebound, tracked down by Tech. Out to Kelly. And Miles Kelly with a clean look. The junior from Stone Mountain, Georgia, has the Jackets on the board first. Well, this is the 20th consecutive game Steve Forbes has started this lineup. Boopie Miller at the point. Cam Hildreth, Hunter Sallis, along with Andrew Carr and Efton Reed. And they're the 2 freshmen we've talked about. Ndongo inside, George outside. What an infusion of talent they have brought into Georgia Tech this year.
Miles Kelly seeing a big basket early, back-to-back triples, and Steve Forbes is going to whistle an early timeout.
With the early timeout, we'll take the break as well. We'll be back to the Joel in 30 seconds.
When you're great, your game does the talking. In the ACC, ours speaks volumes. 3 of the last 8 NCAA championships. 99 NCAA tournament wins since 2015. 8 NCAA titles in the last 22 years. 6 of the top 30 winningest programs in Division I, most of any conference. It's not bragging if it's true. Greatness is what we do. The ACC,
Less than 2 minutes in, Steve Forbes already using a timeout.
I love it. I mean, Georgia Tech gets 2 offensive rebounds and 2 triples. So Steve Forbes is just making sure his guys are ready to play, right? Let's make sure we stick with the game plan. Got to get on the glass.
Cam Hildreth left it short. Rebound ripped down by Miles Kelly. He's not shot it as well this year as he did a season ago, but has looked good so far tonight. Has all 6 points for Georgia Tech. Kapari kicks to the corner. 9-0 start as Kawasi Reeves buries it from the corner.
Georgia Tech works on that all shoot around. 2 to the ball, short roll, kick to the corner, open triple. They drill it constantly.
And Kawasi Reeves has really shot it well against ACC opponents this year. 41% and going up. Carr off the mark. 1 and done. Reeves rips it down.
Settling for jump shots, not trying to get in the gap and trying to make a play for someone else. Somehow early on, Wake Forest needs to make the game easier for their teammates.
Offensive foul to Farah Kapari with the illegal screen. He has been a real boost for Coach Stoudemire's team. He's in the last 4 games averaged 9.7 rebounds. He's bouncy, he's active, does a lot of good things.
That's the way you would describe Georgia Tech, Doug. This is not a team that has a lot of size up front, but they're long and athletic. They're very active, and they're very connected on the defensive end.
And again, don't think about the Yellow Jackets' overall record, 13-16, down the standings in the ACC. They are dangerous, having beaten a lot of good teams, and they are playing their best basketball right now, looking for a 3rd straight win as Boopie Miller throws it out of bounds. Georgia Tech has won 3 of its last 4. And you know, Debbie, as well as anybody, the basketball season is long. It's 4+ months, and you either get better or you get worse. And this is a Georgia Tech team that has gotten better since November.
They have gotten better, and part of it is because of the play right here of number 2, the point guard on the top of the floor. Boy, Nathan George has been a brilliant surprise. And he has worked himself into being one of the top point guards in the ACC as just a freshman. 4 triples to start the game. On fire, Georgia Tech.
Gapari is only a 17% three-point shooter. Throw the numbers out the window. 12-0 start for Tech. Well, you think about the difference in the energy in the building from the last time Wake was here. That packed house against Duke. With a 9 o'clock tip, we just don't have anywhere near a capacity crowd. And so if you're the Demon Deacons, you got to bring your own energy. You have to do it yourself.
Well, and Steve Forbes already burned one timeout to kind of wake up his guys. I don't see him doing another one right here. I mean, they're going to have to work it out. And the crowd's trying to give him a lift.
Wake Forest has missed all 4 of its shot attempts. Sallis back to Miller off the shot fake. Kelly tries to stay with Sallis, knocks it away. Here comes Tech. George throws it in the air, a little too tall for Ndongo, and it goes out of bounds.
Twice Wake tries to attack the gap. Both times Georgia Tech gets the steal. The 3 is falling for Georgia Tech early. Late on the closeout. 4 trip.
At the Joel, he has made both of his threes. When these two teams met a month ago in Atlanta, Georgia Tech made only 3 threes the entire game. They've already got 4. And here's a look at tonight's player spotlight brought to you by Carvana. Kelly has delivered early, Debbie.
I think his maturity all season continues to grow. I think he is on my 3rd team all ACC. I think he's earned it by his play. And I love his start and his energy early on. You mentioned 3 triples the whole game. Georgia Tech only had 8 field goals the first half. And the last time these two teams met, they've already got 4.
Into the game, Parker Fredrickson misfires from the corner. It's been pretty much all 3 balls for Wake Forest to start the ball game.
And I think that's what they've been settling for. And they've got to make Georgia Tech play some defense, move the ball, force some closeouts.
Tough running shot by Nate George, his first 2. You alluded to his journey as a late signee to reclassify and join Georgia Tech right before the start of the fall semester. Didn't play in the first 3 games. The idea was that he was likely going to redshirt. He was expecting that he was going to have a small role of redshirt, but he has blossomed into a guy. Do you have him on your all-rookie team?
I sure do.
Yeah.
I think he's fantastic. And now that Kyle Sturdivant is in the game, I think the 2 of them play well together. And I think it's a good combination of the speed, the athleticism, the length of George, and then the calmness, the veteran experience of Sturdivant.
Yeah, what a, as Fredrickson has it roll out off the fingertips of Claude, and so Wake will keep it. It's not a foregone conclusion that a senior, Kyle Sturdivant, is just going to hand over the reins and be a mentor as he has. It's worked out beautifully this year.
It's really good how connected they've been, how mature Kyle Sturdivant has handled his role, and how he's blossomed in his role. His numbers are as good as they've ever been.
Carr has his pocket picked by Sturdivant. Wake recovers. And he's been a big piece of such a productive bench for Tech. 2nd in the league in points per game coming off the bench. Hunter Sallis finally gets Wake on the board. And the quick answer at the other end by Georgia Tech.
There's that explosion up the floor by Georgia Tech. How quick they are off their feet. How quickly they respond out of the net.
Sallis, being proactive, earns himself a trip to the line.
See, I like Hunter Sallis coming off that timeout, not settling for the jump shot, dribbling into a switch. The first basket, the second basket here for him, or the second opportunity at getting to the free throw line, attacking early in transition.
Here is Sallis, the junior from Omaha, Nebraska. 5-star who went to Gonzaga, spent a couple of years with the Zags, and is just the latest transfer into Wake Forest that has flourished under the direction of Steve Forbes.
I read a great story about him today, about he played 17 minutes a game at Gonzaga. He played a lot of defense. He didn't have confidence on the offensive end. He knew he could get minutes if he played D. And Steve Forbes has infused all kinds of confidence in him. When he was in the portal, Coach Forbes was the first one to get to him in Spokane. And when they watched games on film, they saw Wake Forest turn the ball over, but Coach Forbes never getting upset about it. He let players play through their mistakes, and that was one of the reasons why he wanted to play for Forbes.
Another tough shot by Nathan George, the freshman, now with 4 points. And here is Sallis. You know, Mother's Day is not that far from now. He is a thoughtful young man who, on Mother's Day 2020, Hunter wrote a beautiful letter to his mom, Jessica Haynes Jackson, on ESPNW.com. And if you haven't read it, I encourage you to Google it.
You talk about a competitive player. You should have seen his mother play. She was something else.
Son passes off to Carr, who puts up an air ball. It goes out of bounds. Good break for Wake Forest to retain possession with 3.4 remaining on the shot clock.
You know, I think sometimes you have to change the rhythm of your team on the defensive end when things aren't going well offensively. So I'm looking for Coach Forbes here maybe to do something differently with his team on the defensive end. Maybe they can pick up full court and get their sweat going, because they've not stopped the ball up the floor yet. Georgia Tech has been able to push.
A rare miss for Georgia Tech. Now 6 for 8 from the floor to begin the ball game.
I like that Sallis trying to take the game in his hands right now, right?
Well, he referenced his mom, Jessica Haynes, was a star at San Diego State, played in the WNBA with the Utah Stars. Sturdivant draws the double team. Miles Kelly again comes in 32% of the year. He is 3 for 3, and the lead is 17.
Miles Kelly, shoot till your arm falls off, young man. Keep hunting shots. That's his 3rd three-pointer, 5th for the team.
Matthew Marsh has come into the ball game for the Deeks. Sallis dumps it off to number 33, and he draws the foul. Will head to the free throw line, the junior from England, who has rarely gone to the free throw line this year, just 1 for 2.
I love the naked side 2-man game and a hard roll to the rim by Marsh. Dribble handoff. Kelly gets his feet under his shoulders, late on the closeout. And then this is Marsh, the 7-footer, going strong to the rim to earn a trip to the free throw line.
That is the 2nd foul on Tafara Gapari. As Marsh at 7 feet 1 misfires badly. He took a big jump last year as a sophomore. He shot 88% from the floor. That's pretty good.
Probably 80% of those were dunks.
Of course.
He has had a little bit more of a diminished role through the mid part of the season, but his role is starting to add to the depth of what Wake Forest wants to do. He can be punishing on the front line.
And of course, this team was changed with Efton Reed's addition, the transfer from Gonzaga. Joined the team in the game against NJIT and really changed the complexion. That's another aspect of the bubble talk that we hear about. Does Wake Forest get more consideration because of the fact that they played the first quarter of their season without one of their better players?
Well, the first 7 games they played without him, and I was fortunate enough to cover their team in the Charleston Classic, so I watched them without Efton Reed. They are a completely different team with him on the floor. That's the one thing about the net and some of the metrics is there's no room for the eye test on improvement and how much teams get better. Efton Reed has made this team better.
First 2 points off the bounce from Cameron Hildreth. 21-7.
Wake Forest doing a good job of speeding up the game right now on the defensive end, bringing 2 to the ball, doing a good job of tagging from the weak side.
Sturdivant. Offensive rebound, no. Ndongo lost it out of bounds. He was the last to touch. And so the Demon Deacons trying to protect an undefeated home regular season, down by 14. Still very early here in Winston-Salem.
I bought 3 of the same jacket to get the 4th free.
I subscribed to get a deal on these memory supplements, then forgot to cancel.
Yeah, well, you know, recognizing a bad deal is a part of the journey. Yes, Eva, would you like to share your breakthrough?
I got AT&T's best deal on the new Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus. and got to choose my plan.
Yes, we don't make you sign up for the top tier plan to get our best deal.
I still haven't gone. I subscribe to get
Yeah,
the
we
deals.
know.
Get the newest Galaxy on us with any of our best plans. Guaranteed.
Sunday, we'll have the ACC Wrestling Championship from Carmichael in Chapel Hill. Coverage of the finals begins at 7 Eastern right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. Sean Kenny and Anthony Robles will be on the call. We are here in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Doug Sherman, Debbie Antonelli. Georgia Tech off to a flying start over Wake Forest in this rematch, where in the last meeting it was a completely different circumstance than what we're seeing here tonight, Deb.
Yeah, well, 8 baskets for Georgia Tech tonight, 5 of which are assisted. Wake Forest has 2 buckets, no assists, and they're 0 for 6 from the three-point line. I think they might play through Efton Reed right here in this possession coming off the timeout.
Well, again, Wake usually doesn't have trouble scoring the basketball. 79 points a game is 3rd best in the league behind only Carolina and Duke. They're 2nd in both shooting percentage and 3-point percentage, but they've not been able to knock down their jump shots to start tonight. Buki Miller turns it over. Here comes Coleman right to the bucket. It's another 2 points in transition, and now we've got the official calling time, making sure everybody's okay. Debo Coleman went down, but he hopped right back up. Seems to be all right.
I mean, this is just a good job by Debo Coleman. Look how he's up the line, makes that steal. Boopy's got to do a better job of getting in the gap and then reversing the basketball, or reverse it quickly up on the top.
Here they get the ball to Efton Reed. The double never comes. He puts up an air ball with that left hand. 9 minutes in, Miles Kelly, who's perfect 3 for 3, gets the ball out of his hands. Sturdivant knocked to the ground, and the foul's going to go against Buki Miller.
It feels to me like Wake Forest is a half a pass late on every movement of the ball. Like either they're over helping or Georgia Tech is doing such a good job of reversing sides of the floor. I mean, they are putting the pass on the money, and they are moving the ball, and they are moving through the Wake Forest defense, getting a piece of the paint on their cuts.
By the way, that was just the first team foul against Wake Forest here tonight. 9 minutes into the game. Ndongo steps back, puts up a long 3 and buries it. Just the 4th made 3-point shot for the freshman from Senegal this year.
I mean, everyone's knocking down triples for Georgia Tech. 3 for 10 coming into the game.
We expect him to get rebounds. We expect him to block shots. We don't expect him to step out and hit that 3 to create the largest lead of the night. Off the bounce, Miller. Reed back taps. Sallis, foul. And our first notice of Teddy Valentine, he did not like what he was seeing or hearing from the Georgia Tech bench and immediately said, fellas, settle down, while making that call.
I think he was asking them to sit down.
That's the first on Miles Kelly, who, by the way, all by himself, Kelly is outscoring Wake Forest right now 9-7. There's TV Teddy, along with Ron Groover and Brent Hampton, working our game here tonight.
See Ted Valentine in Charleston quite a bit. He and I both travel through the same airport. He is an incredible guy, and he is very well known, obviously, around the basketball landscape. But what he does in North Charleston for the young people in that community really goes without much attention, and there should be some, because it's really nice what he does.
Miller, great hustle by Sturdivant to knock the ball away, out of bounds, back to Tech. What a remarkable turn there, that the turnover was not converted, and then they lose the basketball.
Good hands by Sallis.
Good call.
Good D by Sturdivant. He made a couple of good defensive plays. He's a non-stat guy for them. Like, he does a lot of things to impact the game. Plus, minus, always good for Kyle Sturdivant.
Although I was happy for him to light it up on senior day in Atlanta. Last time out, went for 20 points, one off his career high. Miller off the feed from Hildreth for 3. The Central Michigan transfer has his first 3 points. It's back to a 14-point game.
Well, Georgia Tech knows that right now it's 2 players to the basketball. There's a hard hedge right there and a turnover. Efton Reed doing a good job having high hands on that hard hedge.
Sallis works the baseline. Has it poked away. Reed kicks it out. Miller, quick pass. Hildreth turned down the shot. Here's Sallis. Back inside they go to Andrew Carr. Nice wraparound for the dunk by Reed. In the blink of an eye, it's a 7-0 run for the Deeks.
This is a good timeout by Damon Stoudemire because Wake Forest is a rhythm offense. And the last couple of times down the floor, they're starting to get in rhythm. Everyone gets a touch through the short corner. And a finish by Reed.
Back inside the Lawrence Joel Veterans Memorial Coliseum, Wake Forest showing signs of life with 7 unanswered points. And Debbie, you were all over it to start the game, saying pace and tempo was going to be a big thing, and the Deeks have turned up the pressure and made the game a little faster lately.
I think they have to speed it up, and there's ways you can get into rhythm on the offensive end by speeding it up on the defensive end, and I think that's helped them here in this last 4-minute stretch.
There's George, defended by Miller. Ball screen comes.
Now drop coverage in the middle third. George recognizes it.
Third time tonight he has put up a tough shot from the left side of the lane and converted.
I'm telling you, it's a clinic in here when Damon Stoudemire and his staff, when they're going through shoot around, and when the first bus arrives before the game versus when the second bus arrives. Very similar to the way they do it in the NBA. First bus comes, guys that don't get to play a lot, they get extra shots up. Second bus has mostly the starters on it, or guys that don't want the extra shooting before the game.
Well, when your coach is Damon Stoudemire, who had such a long NBA career, has coached in the NBA. Last year he was an assistant with the Celtics. It gets your players' attention, and all these guys want to play in the league. Most of them think they will play in the league. Sallis is a potential first-round pick. He's going to the line for a shot at a 3-point play. Hunter Sallis starting to heat things up for the Demon Deacons. It's now a 9-2 run. Back in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, where Georgia Tech's lead has been cut to 12. The head coach of the Yellow Jackets in his first year, Damon Stoudemire. A lot of folks watching remember how good he was. First-round pick, a lottery pick, coming out of Arizona, where he starred for the great Lute Olson. And now his first opportunity at a power conference school as the head coach. And he has surrounded himself with a very good staff, Debbie.
Well, one of the guys I've enjoyed getting a chance to meet is Nate Babcock. You know, the Babcock family is a famous name in basketball and certainly in the NBA as well. But, you know, he coached at D2 Grand Valley State. He's crossed paths with Izzo. He's been in the G League. And Nate is a tremendous clinician and a great teacher. He's clear and he is concise about what he wants the guys to do. He's certainly a valuable assistant to Damon.
Kapari back into the game, playing with those 2 fouls. Carr, the best rim protector for Wake, blocks the shot. Miller from the foul line.
I mean, you get to the nail in transition, that's got to be a bucket. There's that short roll off the hard hedge. You know, I heard Damon Stoudemire speak at a clinic in August down at Florida. It's a Larry Chiat clinic, for lack of another way of a name for it. But I was really impressed with how much he values screening. If you walk the ball up the floor, you can't get the ball reversal, so you got to push it all the time. He loves a ball reversal. And they love to play through the short roll because it puts a lot of pressure on the rim, keeps the ball in the middle of the floor. And you're seeing all of those concepts play out right now in the way his team has scored. He knows Wake Forest is bringing 2 to the ball. They've hit the short roll multiple times. And they're looking to attack and make a play out of there. Their decision-making has been very good early on.
After a quick start, Tech has cooled off. Only one made bucket in the last 4 minutes. That pressure defense for Wake Forest has thrown them off their game. You know, we asked Damon Stoudemire at shoot-around this morning. Of course, again, he played for the late, great Lute Olson at Arizona. And I always find it interesting who mentors and whose voice resonates with players and coaches as they move on in life. Doesn't have to be within basketball. And asked him, are there words that come out of your mouth and you think, boy, that sounds like Coach Olson? That breaks the drought for Georgia Tech. But Damon Stoudemire said the thing that he most took from his time with Lute Olson is the attention to detail.
Yes. The screening angle, the pace, the push, rebounding with 2 hands, all those things that he values. He attributes that attention to detail.
Sallis blocked by Kawasi Reeves. The Demon Deacons will keep just under 6 minutes remaining in the half, 8 on the shot clock. Andrew Carr loses his footing, gets it to Miller, 2 to shoot. George to the rim, fouled by Carr. Baye Ndongo went down hard and is slow to get up.
With Matthew Marsh on the floor, it's hard to bring 2 to the ball. He's in drop coverage right here. He's got high hands, but you got to cover the backside, tag the roller, and that's Ndongo, who goes high above the rim to draw that foul.
Well, I don't think there's any question that young man's going to be on the ACC all-freshman team. He has been a revelation, somebody who was not widely known coming into the season, and all he has done is 6 double-doubles, 15 points, 14 rebounds on Saturday against Florida State. The numbers are impressive, and I think when you watch him, it's even more impressive than the numbers he's putting up.
I agree. It's his length, it's his bounce, it's his motor. It's all those intangibles that Coach Stoudemire really loves about his team.
He has the 4th most rebounds this year of any freshman in the country. Lost it out of bounds.
It's a really good job of Matthew Marsh staying in a stance and staying between Ndongo and the basket, making him make a move.
He commits the 7th turnover. And so Ndongo takes a seat.
Here comes some full court pressure by Georgia Tech. Gonna back off.
Marsh hands to Sallis. Finds Miller. Good action right there on the offensive end for the Deacs.
Now they're moving the ball.
Gapari, crowd wanted a traveling violation. Another offensive rebound for Tech and another opportunity. Reeves, extra pass. Kelly, got it.
Miles Kelly seeing a big basket. Wake Forest has got to guard the three-point line better.
Well, he is a perfect 4 for 4. And as a team, the Yellow Jackets 7 out of 13 from distance.
Got to ISO.
Hildreth loves to work in the lane. Little step back, and he gets the roll over Kawasi Reeves.
That's his game. Isolation, cleared it out. All Wake Forest players got to the other side of the floor for Cameron Hildreth.
Claude gets it back, and he is fouled in the lane. And that takes us to our next media timeout. Wake Forest undefeated at home this year, but Coach Stoudemire's Yellow Jackets still up double figures late in this first half.
When you're great, your game does the talking. In the ACC, ours speaks volumes.
On Mountain, Georgia, Miles Kelly.
Wow, he's been terrific. He has shot it with range. The first 2 triples came off offensive rebounds. How about the dribble handoff action right here? And then his ability to relocate to the perimeter and to the deep corner. Right now, Georgia Tech has spaced out the Wake Forest defense. And they're late on their closeouts. They got to lock in a little bit better here.
Well, Kelly again was scoreless a month ago in the game against Wake, leading the way here tonight with those 4 made threes. And Kelly had quite an experience over the summer. Back in July, he was one of 48 ACC student athletes and administrators who took an immersive trip for 3 days, Debbie, to Selma and Montgomery, Alabama. They visited several key civil rights spots, including the Edmund Pettus Bridge, the First Baptist Church, the Legacy Museum. Just an impactful trip for those young people.
ACC unity, right? It's a big part of the mission of the conference.
Got a foul on the floor. It's going to go against Andrew Carr, who cannot believe it. That is his second. And I believe that's the team's third. No, it's their... It is their fourth. He has 2 of the 4 team fouls against Wake. Tyjon Claude. George, another contested, tough runner in traffic.
What a play. Damon Stoudemire gets him off the ball, and then he runs him off the baseline, and he just keeps turning the corner off the screens. He's got the size advantage over Boopy Miller.
Well, for the last 40-plus years, Georgia Tech has been point guard U, and he certainly has the look of the next in that long line. Here come the Yellow Jackets again. A reach-in foul called against Hildreth, who thought he got it clean. Tafara Gapari at 6'9" was dribbling up. Hildreth saw an opening, but he's whistled for the foul.
Yeah, that's a reach-in foul. It's a big gamble by Cameron Hildreth, right? Or maybe it's just a reaction by Gapare after the fact. There's a mismatch right here. Sturdivant.
Reeves. Again, the crowd wanted to travel against him. He missed the shot. Here comes Wake Forest, under 2.5 to go in the first half.
That should have been a boomerang pass right back to Sturdivant to let him take Efton Reed on that mismatch.
First time we've seen Marcus Marion, number 1 for Wake Forest in the game tonight. Reed with another dunk. Sealed his defender and got a beautiful feed from the wing.
That is what you call a foot fight in the paint, and Reed won it. Here's the mismatch I'm talking about. Now the screen brings the matchups back, but they miscommunicate and leave Sturdivant wide open.
Well, Reed is known to be the best communicator defensively, and after that he looks to the freshman Marion, who just came in, and says what?
Did Marion think they were switching? That's where the communication's got to come in. You're absolutely right. And you're right about Efton Reed. He talks the most on defense for Steve Forbes.
Miller in traffic. 10 on the shot clock. Hildreth goes into Reed. Over his left shoulder. It'll go the other way. Yellow Jackets basketball.
Efton Reed's buckets have come on dunks when he's caught the ball on a drop-off. He's got to be able to get the right real estate for his half hook. Watch the miscommunication right here. Both guys go with the roller Claude. It leaves Sturdivant wide open on the top of the floor.
Here's Sturdivant. Sallis up high for the rebound. Couldn't get it. Tech has it. Waiting for the whistle, which comes.
I mean, the ups on Sallis. He's been the most aggressive Wake Forest player on the offensive end. Now he's trying to get on the glass.
Well, there are 4 NBA scouts in the building tonight. They've had as many as 15 or so for a couple of games when Pittsburgh was here and when Duke was here. But for Wake, it's because of this young man who you see the hops getting a piece of that rebound. There are some mocks that have him as a late first-round pick if he chooses to come out. He still has eligibility remaining.
Last baseline out of bounds play, Wake Forest got a turnover. Georgia Tech's got to cut hard, screen hard.
After the held ball, Tech keeps it. Under a minute to go in the half. George, good shot fake. Here's another runner in tight. It rattles around off the glass and in.
What a beautiful finish. I mean, his finishing skills are outstanding around the rim and in the paint.
Do you
his
think
floater and runner, Doug, you got to love it.
Well, I've got to figure he grew up watching video of Steve Nash as a young Canadian kid. Tell me there's not a little Steve Nash in what we've seen off the move and off the bounce tonight.
A lot of that. And you know, when you think about the relationship that Damon Stoudemire had with his dad through his NBA connections, that's how he ended up here. This is not a guy that was highly recruited. Offers from Seattle, San Jose State, and Texas Corpus Christi.
Yeah.
And here he is, the starting point guard in the ACC for Georgia Tech.
He was going to go to prep school. He was going to sign with Seattle. And at the last second, he becomes a Yellow Jacket. And again, he didn't play the first 3 games. Came off the bench the 4th game. And what Coach Stoudemire has talked about is that he just kept seeing in practice good things happen when George was on the floor. And so why not take that from practice and do it in the game?
I mean, he's second in the league in assists. He's got the best assist turnover ratio. And remember, he didn't even play in the first couple of games.
Yeah.
First 3.
Well, the Ally ACC Women's Basketball Tournament begins tomorrow at Greensboro Coliseum with every matchup but the championship game right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. Our first round coverage begins at 12:30 Eastern with the Nothing But Net crew. And my partner here tonight will be down in Greensboro for the duration. Debbie will be working the tournament once again.
I hate to tell you how many years I've worked the ACC tournament, but it is definitely a big part of the schedule, that's for sure. It'll be a lot of fun. Be a great tournament with, I can't even tell you who's going to win the tournament. There's so many good teams.
Final 10 seconds of the half. Tough pass off the foot. Miller beats the buzzer, but it is off the mark. This is Wake's largest halftime deficit at home this season. They are perfect, unbeaten here at the Joel, but being pushed here tonight.
His ability to attack the paint, go 5 for 5 from the free throw line. He's got 9 first half points. He's got to turn it up another notch here in the second half.
Yeah, Wake made only 8 baskets in that first half. Georgia Tech made 16. And another issue that you've addressed is the fact that how connected is Wake Forest on the offensive end? Carr gets his shot blocked. I mean, this is a team that scores nearly 80 points per game, but they get in stretches where it seems like they're more apt to go one-on-one as opposed to passing the basketball.
I think when they get a piece of the paint, sometimes they need to find the open shooter. They're very good in the ISO game going one-on-one, especially Cameron Hildreth.
Kapari sets the screen, and there goes George one more time.
Look how spread out Georgia Tech gets the Wake Forest defense. So they're turning the corner, and they've got gap options, and they're really doing a good job of moving the ball and going side to side.
Well, Debbie, is it a coincidence that Notre Dame, Pittsburgh, and Georgia Tech, 3 teams that have relied heavily all season on a freshman point guard, have gotten better as the year has gone on? Efton Reed with 2 more. We have seen that with Nathan George just get better and better, and now Georgia Tech, having won 3 of its last 4, playing another impressive game here tonight.
Yeah, Marcus Burton for Notre Dame, Bob Carrington for Pittsburgh. I don't think it's by accident at all. I think you're talking about 3 excellent programs, very well coached, and it's hard to simulate what you're going to see until you go through it.
Sallis cleans up his own miss.
The Wake Forest team cannot trade baskets right now. They've got to get some stops. They have not disrupted anything about Georgia Tech's offense. Georgia Tech's getting pretty much whatever they want. I'm anxious to see what the ball screen coverage will look like here in the second half. There's a switch. In the first half, they were double teaming.
5 to shoot. George puts it up from deep. Reeves got a hand on the rebound. It comes to Wake Forest, and here comes Kevin Boopy Miller. Lob it up. Carr was met at the rim, but fouled. Tafara Gapare picks up another personal.
This is a nice advance pass. Good job by Andrew Carr to run ahead of the basketball in transition, and he gets rewarded with a chance to go to the free throw line.
3rd foul on Gapare. Sends Andrew Carr to the line, 79% shooter. And as a team, this is another thing Wake Forest does very well. 4th in the nation at nearly 80%. Tomorrow, the Nothing But Net crew will be at Greensboro Coliseum for the ACC Women's Tournament. First round all day and night with pre- and post-game shows, highlights, analysis, and interviews. Extensive coverage you can only find one place right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. As Carr makes a pair. Demon Deacons just keep getting back into it, down 10. In the first half, they were down by as many as 22. This is a 6-0 run for Wake. Gapare fouled by Reed, and he'll head to the line. Well, in the win Saturday against Florida State, Gapare was so active. We haven't seen as much of that. Part of it's foul trouble, but just look at the bounce.
So athletic. Good job of keeping the ball in the middle of third and attacking the rim. Shooters in the corners. And because Georgia Tech has done such a good job in the first half of knocking down 8 triples, Wake Forest has got to run them off the 3-point line into their help.
The first free throw taken by Tech tonight is made by Gapare. The former UMass Minuteman grew up in New Zealand. His family roots are in Zimbabwe. Calmly knocks down the second. Good defense by Reeves, staying in front of Hildreth.
I mean, look at the battle on the post right there with Efton Reed. He's doing a good job getting to the midline. That's for him.
8 points now for the junior from Richmond.
Georgia Tech electing to play him straight up, and Efton Reed's got to use that punishing frame and his size advantage as he gets to the midline.
Yeah, he's every bit of 7 feet, 240 pounds. Gapare. Tough to shoot that over Andrew Carr, comes away with the rebound. Hildreth. Hunter Sallis with the left hand. It's an 8-point ball game. First time it's been single digits since the game was 9-0 Georgia Tech.
Good D, good help.
Miller with a burst of speed, great help side from Gapare to knock it out of bounds. So it'll stay at this end with 23 seconds on the shot clock.
Boopy Miller going inside, over penetrating sometimes. When he gets to the paint, he gets 2 feet in there. He's got to spray it out to a three-point shooter.
Great fake. Bad pass. Wake keeps it. Still plenty of time in the shot clock. Sallis pulls. Air ball.
You've had success attacking. You've been able to get in the gaps. You've played well in your ball screen offense. But it's a 10-2 run. And it's a single-digit game.
When you're great, your game does the talking.
They continue to go deep into their roster for this 10-2 run and get back in the ball game.
To the midline, no counter, overpower at the rim. Sallis off the bounce, in the paint, back to Efton Reed, inside out. That's how you play. That sets up Wake Forest to have success. That's why they're on that 10-2 run, and they've cut it to single digits.
And, you know, turnovers have been an issue throughout the season for the Yellow Jackets, and they're starting to creep up. They've got 9, a couple of them here in the second half, and that's in spite of the fact that Nathan George has a very good assist-to-turnover ratio, but as a team, they can be susceptible to turning it over, and this Wake defense has been able to do that.
Well, they've changed their ball screen coverage based on personnel. They're speeding up the game on this end. George doing a good job attacking the outside of Efton Reed and getting to the paint and making a great decision reading the second level.
Just the second made field goal of the second half for the Yellow Jackets. The lead back to 10. Carr sets the screen. Miller gives it back to him. Wide open Hildreth for 3.
Now remember, Cameron Hildreth is playing with a fractured wrist on his right hand, his right arm, and it's his shooting arm. He's played the last 6 games with it.
Nathan George always under control. He's got 14 points to lead Georgia Tech. Sallis into the lane, dumps it off for Carr, who throws it down.
A piece of the paint, a penetration, and a drop-off.
The Delaware transfer averages 13 points, 6.5 rebounds per game. He's got a half a dozen points. You see the points in the paint heavily favor Wake Forest tonight. On the pull-up, in and out for Baye Ndongo.
A beautiful pocket pass and a wide-open 15-footer.
Sallis was shot ready. Everything but the bucket. Long rebound has Tech in the front court. Kelly. Remember, he hit 3 quick ones early, a 4th, but he has not scored since. Chance for a 3-point play as Cameron Hildreth got all the way to the hole.
If you were going to define Cameron Hildreth's game, this is it right here. Downhill, attacking in the paint with contact and 1. This is the way he balls out right here.
Foul number 2 on Miles Kelly. Three-point play for Hildreth. Wake Forest is within 7 points. Luke Miller out. And back into the game, Parker Fredrickson, who has said growing up his favorite game was golf. Said he was a 4 handicap at one point. It's the family sport. He's on defense right now. Sturdivant tries to turn the corner, cut off by Carr. 10 on the shot clock. Ndongo faces up, puts it up, air ball, and out of bounds off of Tech. Wake Forest basketball.
You have to stay aggressive right here and continue to attack. They've only taken 1 3 in the second half. Matthew Marsh has got to look to post up when he has an opportunity.
Sallis. Sturdivant gets a great screen to free himself from Sallis.
Switch.
Coleman with a clean look.
I like Sallis at the top of the offense for Wake Forest. I think he can go away, then he can come back and get it.
And another chance for a three-point play for the junior from Worthing, England.
How does he even get this shot on the glass? Watch this. Rejects the screen with contact. He can't even see the rim. Cameron Hildreth says 1, 2, and I'll take 3.
Already counted the third as he heads to the line. He's one of the four-headed monster offensively for Wake. They've got 4 guys averaging more than 13 points apiece. Hildreth picking it up here in the second half. Now into double figures. It's an 18-6 run for Wake.
What an incredible fight from Wake.
How will Georgia Tech respond? Claude hands it off. Kapare floats it in.
Good job by Kapare to get into the vision of Claude once he gets down to the paint.
Hildreth again attacking, spins, gives it back out to Carr. Carr had the chair pulled out from underneath him. Managed to keep possession and finds Hildreth for 3.
And here comes Cameron Hildreth.
Ball knocked away. Here comes Boopy Miller. He's got Sturdivant to beat and missed the layup.
Well, the Wake Forest defense has got the game sped up. Oh, what a response. What an answer by George.
Kapare with the slam. It's back to a 5-point game. Cam Hildreth has Wake's last 9 points. A pair of old-fashioned three-point plays and then a triple on the last trip. George off the side of the backboard. Here comes Wake Forest. Miller from near the logo. The takeaway. Hildreth behind the back and the layup. And I'm not sure Cam Hildreth feels right. He's reaching for the back of his right leg, and normally he would go up to the rim, but he has scored the last 11 Demon Deacons points.
Cameron Hildreth relocates off the penetration inside, hits the triple, and then off the steal, lays.
It has not taken Cameron Hildreth long to heat up.
In the last 3 minutes and 57 seconds, this is the damage that Cameron Hildreth has put on the Georgia Tech D. Drives and ones and triples. 11 points in this time. He's done it in every way possible right here, including generating offense from his D.
But during that timeout, he headed back to the locker room briefly. You saw in that breakaway, he clutched at the back of his left leg, so he is on that stationary bike down along the baseline, and we would presume just keeping it warm so he can come back into the game. Nate George goes to the left hand.
Good D, because Boopy Miller had to switch back on to George so he didn't get stuck on the post up.
Georgia Tech started this game with a 14-0 run and led 26-4.
Nice slip. I mean, you're right at the front of the rim. You should just dunk it.
Seems easy enough for me. Carr beats the shot clock and makes it a one-point game.
And patient to recognize the mismatch inside. Now Wake Forest is playing with incredible rhythm offensively.
Kowacie Reeves has been quiet tonight, rising up for two.
He just backs Parker Fredrickson into the paint, taking advantage of his size and length in that matchup.
Hildreth is at the scorer's table, and with the whistle and the foul along the baseline, Hildreth will be on the floor when we come back. Timeout at the Joel. Wake Forest trying to run its home court winning streak to 16.
Seeded, expected to be the most of any conference. The ACC's race has been highly competitive on the women's side as well.
Cameron Hildreth back into the game after being out. And the way he has delivered offensively over the last 5 minutes, they could use him in there. Well, during shoot-around this morning, Georgia Tech head coach Damon Stoudemire made it very clear, don't give up any threes. Don't help off the shooters. They've only allowed Wake to make 3 three-point shots tonight, but the Demon Deacons have found their way back in other ways.
Well, I think because of this right here, getting a piece of the paint, attacking inside out.
Sallis.
And Sallis and Cameron Hildreth have been so good attacking the rim off the bounce. This will be the 6th foul that Hunter Sallis has drawn on the Georgia Tech defense. Watch this take right here. With contact. And this is his first trip to the free throw line in the second half. Went 5 for 5 in the first half.
First foul on Kowacie Reeves. Sallis certainly can heat up. His career-high 33 points against North Carolina State last month. 12 of 17 shooting that day. 5 for 5 from the line, 4 for 6 from the arc.
He's on my first team ballot.
Yeah.
I think he's a first team all ACC guard. I think he's earned it.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question. I think most folks agree with you, Debbie.
I love his game.
Ndongo has it knocked away by Sallis, who's also an excellent defender. Now he picks up Kelly, who has cooled off after a quick start.
Miles Kelly hit 4 triples early, and we haven't seen him score 6.
Here goes Kelly
And
in
there
the
he
lane,
is.
right on cue.
Exactly. We were just talking about how it looked like he had cooled off, but I don't think he cools off. I think he plays with great maturity and patience.
He averages 14.5 per game. He's got 14 tonight. He and George both leading the way for the Jackets. Miller toes the line. I did not see a signal. I think that was a long 2.
Probably not the shot that Steve Forbes wanted.
Kelly steps out and starts to heat back up.
He gets the switch. Efton Reed off a flare, and he drills it. 5 consecutive points. And that's an answer by Miles Kelly.
And just like that, it's back to a 7-point lead. Kelly makes it 59-52 Tech. Home court record intact.
Well, we've got 7 minutes for Wake Forest to determine whether they're going to move off this last 4 in and move themselves up the seeding line.
Well, Steve Forbes coming out of that timeout goes right to Hunter Sallis. That snaps a 7-1 Tech run and gets the Demon Deacons back to within 5.
Keep in mind, all the metrics so far are pointing towards Wake Forest being one of 5 teams in the ACC that gets in right now. And then we have the ACC tournament left, and don't forget about that. That's the automatic qualifier.
Will Hildreth be able to get to the rim? Playing with something wrong with his leg, unable to finish after the steal. Gapare is fouled.
Hildreth didn't seem to have the same lift right here. Another steal. I think Reeves got a little piece of that too.
Third foul on Andrew Carr. Ndongo's pass goes awry.
Back-to-back turnovers.
Sallis trying to make him pay, and he does.
He does such a good job of snaking and putting his defender in jail. Keeps him on his hip, and then reads the second level and has that quick, explosive step to the rim.
George to Reeves. Good. 6 on the shot clock.
Good closeout, Doug. Parker's got to keep him in front.
Fredrickson knocks it away, but he's called for the foul with 0.7 of a second remaining on the shot clock.
Watch this D right here. He's keeping Kawasi in front. There he is, right on the elbow. He got him.
First personal foul on Fredrickson, just the 3rd against Wake Forest here in the half. Non-shooting foul, and so the shot clock is reset to 20 as Tech keeps possession. George just took a shot to the face. Play continues. Kelly finds the open man in the corner. Kawasi Reeves.
Wake's energy and their body language has dipped a little bit. They got to pick it back up.
Hunter Sallis hunting another bucket. Give him 2 more.
He's had to work so hard for all of his offense. Believe it or not, Georgia Tech has done a good job on him. That's how talented he is.
Good defense by Wake. George, again, a friendly roll on that rim. He's got 16 points, and the lead is back to 6.
This is a chance for Hunter Sallis to catch his breath a little bit.
The pass to Reed was too tall, out of bounds. Wake turns it back over to Georgia Tech with 3:59 on the clock. The Demon Deacons have cut it to 1 at 52-51, but the Yellow Jackets are pushing back.
After being quiet, after 4 triples in the early part of the first half, goes on a little 5-0 run. And then Nate George, he has been fantastic. Look how he gets to the elbow off the bounce. He's got the float game, he's got the runner, he's got the pull-up J, and he manages tempo so well for Georgia Tech.
You love the efficiency of Miles Kelly. He went for what seemed like 20 minutes of game action between shots, but he still got 17 points on 5 made three-pointers.
Again, I point to his maturity, his patience, and his poise.
George, Ndongo, dump it off, and the dunk by Tafara Gapari.
Wow. You talk about an ATO, man. That is an ATO right there for Damon Stoudemire.
Wow. Reed, bounce pass, backdoor, and with a defender literally on his back, Hildreth draws another foul and will head back to the free throw line.
Watch how Georgia Tech operates in the middle third. Incredible interior passing that time. Wow.
4th foul on Miles Kelly. That's a big deal for Tech. Now you see the big free throw discrepancy, helping to offset the 3-point shooting difference.
Well, the 33 second half points for Wake Forest, 24 of them have come in the paint. They have done a really good job of attacking. That's how they were able to get back in the game. That's the way they got to finish the game.
Georgia Tech has controlled the glass tonight, 31-23, but again, Wake just keeps coming. 17 points now for Hildreth.
Georgia Tech better be ready to ball fake, pass fake, and stay tough right here to finish off this game.
Tech has made its last 6 shots from the floor. That is the 6th turnover committed by George. Hildreth missed the reverse. You just have to wonder if that leg is keeping him from being able to finish.
He's had a couple at the rim that he usually finishes.
He seems to be moving okay, but like you say, those are shots he usually makes.
Switch.
Kelly, catch and shoot. Gapare. Ndongo had it blocked by Reed, and here comes Cam Hildreth again.
That's as angry as I've seen Coach Stoudemire on the sideline. He thought there was a foul.
Miller has it poked away from behind, and here comes Kelly. 19 points for Mr. Kelly. That leads the Yellow Jackets. Sallis has 20 to pace the Demon Deacons. Reed wide open from the corner. Got it! Just his 6th made 3 in 24 tries this year, but you see during practice he can make that shot, and when you leave him that open, he can do it.
This is what you call extreme confidence. Boopy Miller hits it to the corner. How about Epton Reed even being in the corner at this set right here? That's how much confidence he has.
And Ndongo read the scouting report and didn't go out. That's a shot that you would love for him to take if you're Georgia Tech.
That's a no, yes from the sideline.
So again, here's some of the metrics in this final week of the regular season. This is the next to last regular season game for both Tech and Wake. They will both play on Saturday before heading to D.C. The ACC men's tournament begins a week from today in Washington, D.C. And beyond that, Coach Forbes and his team thinking about the big dance. And some of the numbers say they're in. A lot of the numbers say they're on the bubble. Joe Lunardi says at this moment they are the last team in and cannot afford to lose this game tonight.
They had such a convincing win over Duke here, and then they lost their next 2, and they have to stack some wins together right now. They've got a chance here, and they've got a chance with Clemson.
And there will be opportunities in D.C. as well. Under 2 minutes to go in the regular season, in regulation, I should say. Kelly is fouled near midcourt.
That's just the 4th team foul for Wake Forest. Trying to speed up the game right here, putting some ball pressure, going for a steal.
2nd foul on Hildreth. Reeves able to get it in.
Got to get a stop right here if you're Wake. And then look to push.
Reach-in foul on Hildreth. That is number 3 on Cameron Hildreth.
So you've taken the shot clock from 30 to 22 and a foul, now to 11 with a foul. You better not foul here. You better play really good defense.
George gets away from the double team, finds Kelly wide open for three. A big miss for Tech. Wake Forest with the ball down by 5.
I'd like to have the ball in Hunter Sallis' hands. Let him make a decision.
Well, Miller made a great decision there. Through the contact, he's got a chance for 3.
And he drives down the lane line with Sallis in the strong corner. You can't help off of Hunter Sallis. Then Boopy Miller throws it high off the glass. That post up inside by Efton Reed took the shot blocker away at the rim. It's a good finish by Boopy and a hard foul by Georgia Tech.
It's the 3rd personal on Ndongo.
I think they're going to take a look at it, Doug.
And Boopy receiving treatment from the training staff for Wake Forest. And you know the Demon Deacons want him at the line. He's the 7th best foul shooter in the conference, the best on the team.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything there. I don't think there's anything excessive or unnecessary. Honestly, I think he was stumbling, trying to make a play on the ball.
Boy, I don't know. One of the angles, I agree with you, but there are 2 angles we just saw that made me think, is he launching himself at him?
Yes, that angle looks like it could be a different conversation.
Certainly the partisans here at the Lawrence Joel Veterans Memorial Coliseum want a flagrant. That angle doesn't make me think he was stumbling at all.
Yeah, that angle doesn't look so good for Ndongo. Since they have a whistle on it, they can upgrade it to an F1. If it's excessive, too much, or unnecessary, unavoidable.
And again, our officials, Ron Groover, Teddy Valentine, Brent Hampton. So you may have heard from the PA, it is just a common foul. And Ron Groover is over talking to Debbie Antonelli, who will explain their determination.
Yeah, just a common foul. They felt like his own teammate pushed him into Boopy, and it wasn't upgradable.
The good news is Boopy Miller is going to be able to stay in the game and take his free throw to try and complete what would be a crucial 3-point play. Wake Forest has never led tonight. It trailed 14-0 out of the gate and have been playing catch-up ever since in this crucial late-season game. Only once since 2010, and it was 7 years ago, has Wake Forest been to the NCAA tournament. Miller short.
You got to get a stop here, Doug. You got to make sure you do have a foul to give before you put him in the bonus, so you can be really aggressive here trying to get a steal or trap.
Miller guarding George. Ball screen Ndongo. George passes to nobody in the corner. That is his 7th turnover tonight.
Wow. What a break for Wake Forest. Now you don't need a 3. You got to look to score quickly. I'd go right in the paint. But I want Hunter Sallis to have the ball in his hands in this moment in the game.
Keep an eye on number 23 in white. Hildreth with it now. Looks to Carr on the left side. Ball has not come to Sallis' side at all this possession. Miller, tough shot, bailed out with the whistle.
Wow, that is a tough whistle right there for Georgia Tech, because Wake Forest didn't look like they had anything going. I think these are the moments in the game where Hunter Sallis has got to be a little bit more aggressive in trying to seek his own shot. And Boopy Miller is going to go back to the free throw line, an 83% free throw shooter who missed on his last attempt.
That foul was on Ndongo, his 4th.
Wake Forest or Georgia Tech can expect full court pressure here.
Miller's 2 for 3 tonight, made his first 2, and now Miles Kelly talking to him perhaps.
What are we doing, icing the shooter here, right?
He's defending him. Now Efton Reed says, come on, man. A little gamesmanship. Sunday, we'll have the ACC Wrestling Championship from Carmichael in Chapel Hill. Coverage of the finals begins at 7 Eastern right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. Sean Kenny, Anthony Robles will be on the call. Boopy Miller with a couple of clutch free throws. A 7-0 run has made it a 1-point ball game with 36 seconds to go.
Georgia Tech has led the entire game. They started out hitting a bunch of threes at the beginning of the game. Wake Forest couldn't get anything going. In the second half, it's been Wake Forest being aggressive in the paint and attacking. They changed the rhythm of the game with their ball screen coverage.
They have forced 15 turnovers, and again, 7 of them have been committed by the freshman point guard, Nate George, who has not turned it over that much this season. If you're Wake Forest defensively, do you attack him again here?
Well, I think you're going to probably see the ball screen coverage be switch on everything. And what Georgia Tech wants to do is, I mean, he does lead the league in assist-turnover ratio. I would continue to put the ball and play through him. I don't think Damon Stoudemire is going to take the ball out of his hands at this point in the game.
And if you're Tech offensively, where are you trying to get the basketball?
Well, I'm trying to attack the paint. I want to put some pressure on Wake Forest defense. Keep in mind, Wake Forest still has 1 foul to give before they put Georgia Tech in the bonus. So, again, it's staying aggressive, looking to take a gamble on a steal, but keeping them in front. Not giving up a 3.
Good reset there. The possession arrow belongs to Georgia Tech. Each team has 1 timeout remaining.
I would switch on everything here. I know Wake Forest has had success bringing 2 to the ball. Let's see, after the full court pressure when you get back into the quarter court.
This is the closest Wake Forest has been at all this game. Twice in the second half, they have pulled it to 1 point. And now Tech will face full court pressure. The long arms of the 6'10 senior Andrew Carr defending Koasi Reed.
I like it. He might turn around here and try to guard the guy cutting to the ball.
Reeves able to get it in. Sturdivant bottled up. Timeout call.
The worst place to enter the basketball and a perfect spot for Wake Forest to bring the double. Carr doing a great job of cutting off that passing lane down the baseline.
And Sturdivant, to me, did a good job not to panic and use that last time out. He knew he had one, and they couldn't afford another turnover. But what a tough spot to receive that pass.
That's exactly what you want to do with your full court pressure, is funnel them into the corner, and that's what Wake Forest does. Watch right here. Andrew Carr's body is dictating the pass going into the corner, and then Sallis and Carr having the discipline not to foul and to lock up in that trap, forcing a timeout.
And when I say it was in essence a triple team, I'm not talking about Coach Forbes. It was the sideline playing the 3rd defender. He had nowhere to go. But Coach Forbes was right there just in case. So now a tough spot on the inbound right in front of the Wake Forest bench. It'll once again be Reeves to trigger in. And once again, Carr defended.
It's a tough spot to inbound the ball,
It
too.
sure is. The 2 point guards, Sturdivant and George, trying to come free. Reeves, a dangerous pass to Ndongo, and he is fouled immediately. Wow, that could have been a disaster on the inbound.
Still got to inbound the basketball. And keep in mind, only 4 seconds have gone off the clock. They have 6 seconds to get it over midcourt.
Foul number 3 on Reed. This is a better spot for Kawasi Reeves to get it in.
When I looked at the clock, it had 27, and then 1 second came off to make it 26.
Sturdivant, travel. Another turnover forced, and Wake Forest will have a chance to take the lead.
Look at Cameron Hildreth making a play right here.
Miller gets it back to Sallis with 10 on the shot clock. Change of direction, bank it in, and the Deeps take the lead. All the way back from down 22 in the first half, a 9-0 run has given Wake Forest its first lead of the night.
What a play by Hunter Sallis. That's why I've been asking for him to make decisions and have the ball in his hands in the late game. Slippage by Georgia Tech and the turnover gives Hunter Sallis an opportunity to do this. Wake has not had the lead all game, and Hunter Sallis does a great job of getting in the paint, following up on his own miss, moving without the basketball, attacking the middle third. And then this play right here, putting his defender in jail and high off the glass. He's been fantastic all game, attacking inside.
There are the numbers on Sallis, who was such a big recruit out of the transfer portal from Steve Forbes. He went to Spokane to recruit Hunter. And Efton's high school coach said you might want to look at Reed as well. And he got 2 tremendous players who have buoyed this Wake Forest program on the verge of trying to secure a spot in the NCAA tournament for the first time in 7 years. A crucial spot here. Now they've got to come up with one stop. Offensively, where do you look for Georgia Tech to go, Debbie?
I'm looking to attack inside. I want to get something going at the basket, in the paint. I'm not settling for any jumpers here. I like keeping the ball in the middle third of the floor.
Nate George, the terrific freshman. 8 seconds. Down to 6. No whistle. The tie-up, the possession arrow stays at this end with 3.8 currently on the clock.
Well, Steve Forbes is looking for a travel.
I'm surprised there wasn't one.
He fell down with a basketball. He still had possession on the ground.
And then slid a few feet.
That should have been a travel. Watch, he falls, and he still has possession of the ball.
So Georgia Tech, they keep 3.8 on the clock. The inbounds is entrusted to Nathan George.
Keep your eye on Ndongo here for a lob at the rim.
Here we go. George to Ndongo. He attacks Reed, puts it in with 4/10. Georgia Tech back in front. And that'll do it. For the first time game this season. Wake Forest loses at home, and Georgia Tech with another huge victory this year.